My name is Father Peter Salmon. I'm pastor of St. Teresa's Catholic Church in Potrero Hill. I'm co-chair of the Living Wage Coalition, and on that coalition I represent the Bay Area Organizing Committee, which is a coalition of churches, labor unions, and community organizations. I come today to speak for a just and fair wage for workers in our city. I come to support people like Maria, who comes to St. Teresa's Church for help. St. Teresa's is able to help approximately 100 families monthly who are in the below poverty range. Maria has a full-time job, but makes only $7 an hour. That means she regularly runs out of food to feed her 2 children and herself near the end of every month, and then has to come to our church for assistance despite the fact that she puts in a full 40-hour week at her job. We at St. Teresa's and other churches are more than willing to help Maria and others, but we have concluded that our efforts could more effectively help her by promoting a fair living wage ordinance that would assure her a wage above the poverty level. This is a matter of basic fairness. Anyone who works full-time should have the dignity of being able to support their family on the wages they earn without having to go look for assistance. The living wage proposal would require businesses and organizations that have city contracts or receive city subsidies to pay their employees enough to support their families. I also represent an ad hoc committee of clergy who have come together to support the living wage ordinance in our city. We are convinced that this city has a moral obligation to use the money of taxpayers given out in city contracts to provide a decent and fair wage for workers. Today we are going to hear from many people. We're going to hear their stories, people who would be affected by this law. While you debate the details of this ordinance, I ask you to keep their stories in your hearts.
My name is Nettie M. Caesar, and I'm here to talk about living wage. I am a home care worker, and I've been employed for the last 13 or 14 years. I take care of clients in their home. My job consists of various jobs, depending on the condition of my clients. Not only is our job physical, but it is very stressful also. Some days, we are the only contact that our clients have with the outside world, and we deserve a decent living wage. We want to do more than merely exist. We work, and we are willing to work, but we also want a living wage. When I go shopping and buy a loaf of bread or a carton of milk, it costs me just as much as it does a person that makes 3, 4, or 5 times more an hour. We would like for you to take that into consideration. When you work from 7.5 to 8 hours per day, 5, 6, and 7 days a week, and when you get your paycheck, it is not enough to pay your rent. We need a living wage. We wish that those who can make a difference could just walk in our shoes for just a day. Just budget on our budget for just a month. And I assure you, that they too will say, yes, they need a living wage.
My name is Danny Elvina. I work at facility at the airport. I work as a rental car. I work as a service. I've been in this company for 9 years, and then I got paid only about $10. And I support about 5 people in my family, and if my wife gets sick, I cannot afford to support all of those. So we need this living wage to get it up. And I know some of my workers at the airport, they are making $6 an hour, and they have to pay their own insurance. So I wonder how they're gonna support their family about that. So, you know, we need to make this living wage go on.
My name is Bernadine Imperador. I'm a single mother with an 18-year-old daughter, and I work for Volume Service at 3Com Park. I'm an MVP runner, and that's one of my part-time jobs that I do. Money is very, very tight, and with the money I make, which averages around $800 to $1,000, is not very much. So with the jobs I do, which is what I do, like an MVP runner, I go upstairs, run upstairs 30 or 40 times up down the stairs just to deliver food to the corporate business season ticket holders and stuff, like food and stuff to them. And then with my car job, I work and drive cars to, like, from location to location within the Northern California area of the cities. And I only get like minimum wage, or I only work by commission, which is not very much. And I work with them also as well, as about 12 to 14 hours a day. And during that period of time, I usually don't even have hardly time to be with my daughter. And the reason why I would like to vote for this living wage is I hope that I would be able to afford my own place and be able to provide more for my daughter. I've been divorced for almost 10 years now, excuse me, not 20, it's 10 years now. And my ex-husband, he ever down my support for my daughter. And the money I make, I only make enough just to pay my rent and some of my bills, which is really, really kind of very high. And to tell you the truth, if it wasn't for my family, I'll tell you right now, I'd be right now living in the downright hotels or probably in a shelter.
Amongst my brother and sister workfare workers, we're frankly having a bit of trouble overcoming a huge hurdle called survival. Many of us live on the streets. Some of us get to spend time in the city's inadequate shelters. A few lucky ones, like myself, are allowed to turn over most of our meager pay to live in a cockroach-infested box with toilet and showers down the hall. No visitors after 6, so there's no chance of, or even the luxury of, a quiet evening watching TV with loved ones. Every single one of us gets up early and arrives at our job no later than 10 minutes past 7 and never misses a single day. To do so would throw our very survival into jeopardy. Every single one of us works hard at a job that used to pay a living wage, one good enough to provide security for a family of 4. Taking advantage of every opportunity presented and diligently meeting every requirement should yield more than mere survival. It should begin to meet the minimum standards of a life with hope for advancement and something resembling a future. This living wage ordinance is a necessary first step for workfare workers. It's a necessary first step for all workers. If there is allowed to exist a 2-tiered system where workfare workers are not included in this living wage ordinance, then you leave a clear path to defeat this ordinance once it's passed.
I was born and raised in Baby Hunters Point. I found myself needing to move to Oakland because I can no longer afford the high cost of housing here in San Francisco. And I still consider myself a San Franciscan. My roots are here, my family is here, my job is here, my life is here. It's extremely unfortunate that I had to move to Oakland. I always tell folks I was kicked out of San Francisco because that's truly how I felt.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Darrell Loggins. I work for Avis Rent-A-Car Company, SFO. I've been employed for Avis almost 7 months. I am a family man. I'm married. I have 4 children at home and a wife. I make $5.75 an hour, 40 hours a week. I'm the only person in my home working and trying to make bills from month to month on $5.75 an hour is very hard. I work hard for my money. I do believe in paying my fair share of taxes and helping others, community. Whatever needs to be funded, I don't mind putting in whatever I can spare to put in, if anything to spare to put in. I do go to church. I've been working under minimum wage for $3.65 an hour as a single person. Now I make $5.75. How much more is that I'm making to survive? My bills, my wife and I have to pay the bills on what I make and plus whatever support that she gets through the city and county. And that's not enough either. I went shopping this week. A loaf of bread costs $1. 2 gallons of milk, $5.59 for 2 gallons of milk. And it's hard for 6 people to live on 2 gallons of milk and a couple loaves of bread, and to still be able to pay rent and PG&E and whatever other bills you may have, phone bills. I'm saddened myself because I am working so hard, and my kids and my wife are missing me and wondering, why are you working so hard? I'm working to support us, to be able to move up and not stay in one stable area and one stable spot. I'm tired of being in one spot. I'm ready to move up as a tree grows from the roots to the mountain tops.
My name is Jaime Arabia, and I also work at the and I was buying my son diapers for $23 a box. And last week I went to the store and they say it's $30 now. So, I mean, I was surprised and I was outraged. The works can keep up with the cost of living. You know, we have to make a lot of sacrifice. I think this is an opportunity for you to be conscious that this city is tiring. We're very tired of suffering. We want to live a decent life. We want to be able to live life like everybody else is living in suburbs. You know, people that make a lot of money. You know, we want to have that opportunity.
No benefit, no vacation. I enjoy the union. I want to more ways to take care of my
Santana, soy miembro de Mujeres Unidas y Activas.
Santana, and I'm a Unidas y Activas.
Yo, varias de las mujeres hemos cuidado a personas ancianas.
A lot of us provide care to elderly people.
Más de 40 horas por semana.
A week.
Por ejemplo, mi caso, mi ingreso es de $1,000 al mes.
And in many cases, such as my case, our earnings or my earnings less than $1,000 a month.
Como si bien me va de $200 a $300 para cubrir necesidades como comida, vestido de mi hijo, calzado.
After I pay rent, I'm left with $1,000 to pay food, clothing, and other.
El día de ahora tuve que cargarlo para venir a dar mi testimonio y eso significa que quizás mi hijo va a ser un dulce
stop working so that I can come and give this. And that means that maybe my kid will have less this month.
Completo.
I would like the living wage to pass. Could have one whole day with my son to spend with him.
Justo para él. My family and I are having a problem. Looking for house. So houses here in San Francisco are higher than 3. My her friends, and I'm staying with my dad in a one-room apartment. We share one bed, and when I go to school, I'm working house. Not she's working day and night. My dad, he's working hard. He comes home tired. Saturdays and he has to go to work also. Art. Children pass. Living orphans.
I've been a home. I began when I left 6:30 a.m. My first home 7. To have cerebral palsy. Cannot walk in or out of bed without assistance. I give birth to bed back, change her, transfer her bed, get her bed. Of basic fairness as we the city of San Francisco.
Garia Chensa working at the San Francisco nurse. Mostly 90% of our witnesses are Filipino. My started receiving only $6 an hour. Now I'm making $7.70, which is the highest our you create hour working at the museum because funding. You could work than 40 hours, have overtime, 10 hours a day, and any overtime letters. Sirloin apartments. So, how about the city security officers working that be or religious? Same job.
Healthcare worker, I help keep people at home. Very the work that I'm. It is a disgrace that other people in the charity of family to make and
single mother coordinator for and I've struggled battery and now month and daily and monthly choose which one. I have 3 children. Switch
And which one?
My name is Erin. I work for a shelter in the all now. A majority of my coworkers make $8 an hour with homeless social service. Take on a second job, even if they work 4 hours a week. A shelter. Clients have patients, but it's hard to have standing over there to really out. But shelter this
come here representing a group of simple people. I'm one who protect these to you can obviously tell that's not the say any of here of a job that or which and this job is at the rate for the same job and saying is that we would
I have daughter has 1 month. They did whole in the for 1 month hospital with theater house. Need a raise. I need
and student at San Francisco. So County Center, I have a worked break. So there's a lot of and we think living important. I from Arkansas. I left Arkansas now there, Arkansas. 9, 14, and 16 also out. So I know that I choose Arkansas.